Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me in my shop here. It's February 4th today, 2024, and I'm just starting on this great big radio console record player combination. It's a Philco. Look at this thing. Now, before I get going, because there's a chance you've never watched any of my videos before, and this is the first one you've watched, there'll be a series of videos, perhaps as many as 10 on this radio, maybe more. Each video is going to be in the area of an hour long, something like that. And I just work my way through all the problems that are bound to be in this radio record player combination. Just plug my way through it with the cameras rolling. So you get to see my mistakes, oversights, and triumphs as I work along on this stuff. So I do not own this. Someone else owns this. And it's a family thing, as a lot of these old guys are. That fellow has memories of his mother, I think, his mother or his grandmother playing this. This guy's pretty old here. First off, we won't be plugging them in with this power cord, that's for sure. Take a look at it. It's completely frayed and shorted out here. I mean, it's shot. You don't even need to have it hanging out here. It's of no use. That's my first thing. I've already done something to it. Goodbye to this power cord here, in case you didn't see it. Look at that. Yikes. Yeah, that's bad news. Okay, we'll throw that aside. There it goes. Let's take a closer look at this guy. So today what I'm likely to do is simply examine this and get clear in my mind what it is that it might need. So right away it's a 5 band radio. Really? 5 bands, eh? Yep, they're all labeled up here. So one of these switches is going to be the band switch. What's this? That's got a little bit, well, there's something that's been shoved in there to tighten it up, and it's slipped out, so band switch. Ooh. See from the finger marks around here, this thing has been used a lot. Somebody really played this a lot. That one's loose. I'm waiting for the pointer to move here. It's going around and around, so this is probably the tuning. And this will be the band switch up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, five positions altogether. Well, that's already a sign of some problems here. Let's look inside. What are we going to find inside here? I've already looked in here, so I know what's in here. Okay, make sure you're sitting down for this. Whoa, my gosh. Holy smokes. This is an old record player. Wow. I got to guess this whole thing's from the late 30s. That would be my guess. Well, look, no wonder I can't turn the dial here. The string is over here. So, what else we got in here? So this is a liner from inside of a pop bottle. Am I a winner? Mountain Dew, Pepsi Cola Canada. No, I'm not a winner. Yeah, sometimes they used to do competitions under these. You know, you pop the cap off and you pull this thing out and look at it. You're a winner. I was never a winner. So pretty dirty in here. It's collected a fair bit of dirt down along the groove. And this is definitely all really quite dirty. Very, very dirty. I don't know what it would clean up to be. So the owner has told me he's not interested in the record player, and look at it. Wow. This is a monster. Got a needle, but the chances are extremely good the cartridge is shot. This weighs a couple pounds. Not a couple pounds, but it's very, very heavy. Yeah, I mean, the very most with this, you can make it mechanically work maybe and drop a record, but even that might be a really tough go. On off switch. It's off, and this says reject. This would be a record pusher, so you see how you put the records on. This is unusual. You see the angle that that thing is on? You think, oh my gosh, somebody's bent it. No, that's the way it's supposed to be. The records are, I'm guessing now a little bit. The records come down, they'll go so far and then they bump into this guy here. And that keeps them from dropping right to the bottom. And somehow this is able to knock off the bottom record, because you'd have a stack on here. Knock the bottom one off this, and then it can fall all the way. This is probably to detect the size of the record, or you set it. Maybe this is a setting. Maybe you set it yourself. Yeah, because I'm not sure. Some record players actually have feelers that swing across and feel the edge of the record to judge the size of the record. Then they conclude how far to move the tone arm. Well, we're certainly not going to focus on this. Automatic and manual. Yeah, there's probably a lot of work in this, and it's a long shot to ever get it to work. And then if it did work, it runs one speed, 78. And the tone arm is very heavy. I think it may even take steel needles. The idea of a steel needle is they're fairly soft. And the needle wears out and not the record. And you buy the needles, you buy a little package of 100 of them or more at once. And every time you play a record, you change the needle. Or every couple records, you change the needle. Yeah. That's probably what's going on in here. Let's close this down. Beautiful cabinet, actually. Does it look like it's been refinished? No, this has not been refinished. Look at that. Just the beautiful signs of wear. All this just means this was really used a lot. I mean, this is fantastic. It actually has all of its knobs. Even if this one's falling off, you can take care of that. Okay, what's happening around the back here? Just, let's see if I can rotate this past everything. Well, okay, that's interesting. There is something going on. First, there's probably a back cover that should be on here. Maybe, I would think so. Don't see it though. Okay, what can we see back here? The radio sitting right here, tuning capacitor, this looks like more of the tuning string here. For some reason there's a light hanging down here. Where would that have come from? Why would it be hanging down? Good question. And I can see the different alignment adjustments here, all nicely put at the back, so you can adjust these with the radio in the cabinet. And looking to see if all the tubes are in there, or are they gone? Are they there or are they not? Let me get my super power light here. I don't see any tubes, and I don't see any tube sockets. How's this work? Oh, there they are. This is full of Loctol tubes. And I can't see them right now, but they've put a piece of information in a very handy location there. Can you see that page of paper down there? Well, what good is that going to be? You have to stick your head up through the hole here to see. I mean, that's crazy. Why would they stick it there? And what does it say anyway? I think it shows the tubes. 7Y4, 7B6, 7. I can't quite read it. So they're the Loctol type tubes. Okay, I'm just looking at the dirt. That's all inside here. Sorry, my light is just too strong. Too strong for the camera. Lots of dirt in there, built up, of course. Got a wire going across. across here. This is probably the, feels like the power wire. There must be another one. Here's a couple of lighter wires. The camera's trying to fall over. Well, there's no way we're going to plug this in and turn it on. I mean, again, there's just absolutely no way. So what we got to do is we got to figure out how to get the radio out of here. That's really the challenge. How would you get the radio out of there? I was going to say, obviously they wouldn't put screws in the side here, would they? Look at, there's screws in the side, right through the side of the cabinet. And that's for sure. That's got to be, yeah, what's holding this on. 4 screws out, and this just falls out. Is that what happens? Oh, there's nothing holding these knobs on. Well, something holding this one on. Wow. That's a toughie. I have to give it some, give it the treatment here. So is there some reason why I would say, oh, this is not worth even trying to fix up? Not at this point. No way. No way. There's nothing here that's making me think, except I can't get the knob off. There we go. So he's jammed a little piece of paper in there to tighten it up. Same as the other one, only the paper had slipped from its ideal location. Knobs are off. This is all it is. Where's the power cord? Where did the power cord go to? It's way over there. Okay, no problem. I was looking to see if the power cord was tacked in somehow. I see there's a tag over here. Half a tag over here. Giving some kind of information. Okay, these are... I wonder if this was made in the United States, because these screws, I gotta put the brake on. These screws are Phillips. I'm gonna take the upper screws off. No, I'm not. I'm gonna take the lower screws off. Think this has ever come out of the cabinet before? There's a good chance. With this level of wear on it, this probably got in the shop a few times during its life to have repairs made. And most typically it would be a defective tube, something simple like that. Well, one thing about, like, the last radio I worked on in my shop here was a fantastically beautiful looking radio in perfect shape. Considering its age, fantastic, largely working. Just one fairly simple problem with it. I guess I got to hold on to this. Well, I don't like working on beautiful looking radios that are in great shape, because it's hard to make an improvement. Something like this. Wow, I can't really go wrong, can I? So we're going to see now if it's loose. Yeah, it's loose. I'm going to grab onto something solid. There's the power transformer way at the back. Okay, hold on to that. I'll take out these last screws. Okay, drop down a little bit. Out you come. I got my arm in there. Got my arm in there. There we go. Let's hold all of this. Of course, the same wires that I was just talking about. Now, duh. Is this plugged in here? No. Is it plugged in over here? It's got to be plugged in one way or the other. Okay, bit of a jackpot here. Get this radio half out. There we are. Okay, I didn't deal with the wires. Yes, there is a plug halfway in the cord here. Okay, that's one wire freed. Now what about the power wire? That's quite likely on a plug. Oh, there's a speaker wire too. That's on a plug. Okay, that's out. We gotta take a look in there. See what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to this little camera here. And we will continue looking. So I pulled out the speaker plug. It's these two wires here. Okay, let's just turn this while we're in here. Well, it turns nice and free. Yeah. And what about these wires? So they're taped right here. They've been cut previously. I got a little ahead of myself here. Let's see if we can see where those wires go. I can't see anything in here. May have to cut them too. Would not be surprising to find a plug, or they are long enough. I take this out further. Rough camera work here. There we are. Oh my god, it's wires. No plug. Really? No plug? No plug. No plug at all. I'm standing here with a radio in the air. I gotta cut those wires. That's the only way. Okay, how am I gonna do it? This is like, you're not supposed to let this kind of thing happen where you get halfway through. Okay, cutting the wires. And out she comes. Wow, oh boy. Okay. Now what am I gonna do? I gotta move this cabinet out of the way. You know what? There's a string on. There's a string. Okay, let me move the cabinet here. Oh, it's still very heavy. Okay. Here comes the radio. I think I've been mining or something. I'm getting so dirty here. Just loaded with dirt. Dirt. Of course, this is standing upright, so the dirt is landing on it this way. Got a light here. The other light has popped out. No, that's not the light. Where'd the other light go? Here it is. Just pop it in for fun. Okay, we won't pop it in. Here's the string. Broken. So, what's going on here? We got a brass blocking cap for a hole. We got this is soldered in pretty ugly. Is this a conversion? This looks like it's, I don't know, it looks like it's soldered. That's odd. This is a 6x5. 6x5. Now, there was that information on the inside of the cabinet. I'm going to see if I can see it. Nah, you know what? We won't worry about it right now. Let's just keep looking at stuff. I'll just make a note in my head. There's a note in my head now. What's going on with this tube? Loctal, 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 loctal. Not loctal. Model 48 1826. Some good numbers here. This is probably got the model number on it. If this isn't the model number, this says model. Yeah, that is the model number. Okay, we have the this is the phono input here. Speaker output, which I had to cut. A switch here to go from 240 to 115 now. That's a little odd. This is a North American made unit for use in North America. Was there anywhere where you would have to flip this to 240? I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, so there's definitely something really weird going on here. Oh, look what's happened here. I got it. Okay. Somebody made a sad attempt at using a shorter string, or the remains of the string, to reconnect this. A very sad attempt. Like, they've got it going from the pointer. Look at the angle it goes on. It'll never stay there. There's a pulley up here. They didn't make use of it. How come? Two pulleys here. Only string going around once. So there's no question. The way the string is run here is rather humorous. Here's the spring. What were they trying to achieve here? I don't know. Okay, string all bunged up. It doesn't even... so the string doesn't even go down to the tuning control. It's just wrapped. It's like somebody tied it up so it wouldn't flop around. Or tied it up so someone like me could find it. Tied it up because they just didn't know what the heck. It is definitely, it's tied. It's tied in a knot here. It's a single knot, so I can undo it. How crazy is that? I don't know what they thought they were doing. They thought they were doing something. I'll just take this off nicely like that. Okay. Definitely. String is off. So the string job is coming. Okay. Can you see the corrosion on the aluminum here? High humidity. I'm pretty sure that's got to indicate this has been a highly humid place. What's this guy here? This is probably the antenna wire coming out. See, the capacitor is bolted. Oh, I take that back. It looks like I have a lower frame here, and then the capacitor is bolted to it through grommets. Let's just take a look and see. We can actually see that happening. Yeah, these orangey kind of grommets, they usually go rock hard. Or, oh no, they're not hard. Okay, I can't get my finger in there. So that tells you something about how they are handling the frame of the capacitor. It is not solidly grounded. Well, you know, it's possible it is though. Just looking at how they put the bolt through here, and you can see there's a washer, and then you got the rubber grommet. The bolt is traveling inside the rubber, so it can't touch the frame here. And then the bolt travels up into this frame. I think it's probably threaded. Probably threaded. I can't see it. And then there's probably a restricting sleeve in here, a metal sleeve inside. You can tighten the bolt down, and the bolt will tighten on the sleeve, and it won't over squeeze the grommet. Now, why? And so then the bolt is isolated from the frame or the chassis, and the bolt is not isolated from the frame. So it still looks like the frame is, well, looks like maybe there's a ground. Well, look at this. Well, clearly it's grounded because it's got a strap coming down to ground. So why bother putting all this rubber stuff on here? This is really very, very solid. Anyway, it's not wobbly at all. A lot of these, the grommets shrink and the capacitor becomes wobbly. Not this one though. Let's see if we can turn this. Oh, it feels great. So it's got gearing in here. Now it's using a kind of gearing. Can you see these two plates have teeth? They're two separate plates with two separate sets of teeth. And I won't explain it right now, but it provides a scissory sort of action between the two plates with teeth on them. That makes the teeth effectively grip. So this is meshing with teeth that are on the shaft here, and they're gripping them. And what that does is it stops any play or looseness, which just feels terrible when you're tuning a radio. The last thing you want to feel is some looseness. This feels just great. Lovely. So, radios can die at this point. Some old radios, the capacitor is so frozen in here in the shaft that you can't loosen them up. Haven't encountered that lately. That's a really old radios that have gone that way. Well, that's all good stuff. We got probably a capacitor here, but maybe not. This could be what's it say on it? Philco. Made in well, I'm not sure what it is, but it could be a transformer, it could be an output transformer, it could be a big capacitor. It's a big metal can. That's definitely the transformer, power transformer. Let's take a closer look at what it says here. 481826 121. I wonder what the 121 is. It could be like a series number. 50-60 cycles, 80 watts. Philco, Philadelphia, USA. Import. Oh, import. What's that say there? Okay, let me just bear with it. I'm going to make my camera focus. It'll focus closer. Just hang on a moment. Lots of clicking. Here we go. Philco Corporation, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Importe de Etas in Amerique. Well, I think it's Spanish. I don't think it's French. It's possible this was made, this is a South American radio. I don't think so though, but well, that would explain the this 230. So that's supposed to be 240. Somebody should tell them. Maybe it was made for export. I don't know. I got the close-up camera. Let's look at the capacitor a little closer. It's got pretty wide plates. Pretty wide plates. This is a very rugged one. I didn't sense that any plates were bent, and they sure don't look like it. Let's just turn this see if anything's happened here. Sometimes these plates get bent in because people reach in and they bang them. So this outside one looks like it's in a little tight. And also, as part of the tuning process in the factory, there's a procedure that can be followed where these outside plates are bent away to reduce the capacitance of the capacitor, and see how the plates are split. So you can bend away a plate and change the, I don't know what to call it, linearity or tracking of the capacitor. Not much else to see here on top. We're going to look underneath now and we'll find out. Has anybody been at this thing? Now, can I turn this right upside down? It's sitting on this. Very hard, very solid. Okay, so I'm going to flip it right upside down here. So, ooh, yikes. Oh, baby. Wow. Kind of quiet while I look at it here. This is the phono input wire coming here. The speaker wire appears to be going to this switch. Wait a minute, I can't be going to that switch. It does seem to be. Maybe this isn't speaker wire. This is definitely the power cord coming over to the switch here, which makes sound. See the old capacitor here. Wow, this is old. It's all old. There's nothing new in here. No use doing that. Wow. So I'm usually asking myself at this point, gee, should I start this thing up the way it is? The deal here with that, it's much better to have a device operating to any degree, safely operating, so there's no fire coming out of it, but to any degree, and work on it that way, so you can see the effect of your changes as you work on it. If it's just a dead radio and you start doing stuff, you're making mistakes, you have no way to test it and find out that you've made a mistake. By the time you're all done, say shotgunning all these capacitors, I've made 9 mistakes in here, and good luck sorting that out. All you got to do is you can make a mistake where you connect a new component incorrectly. You connect it to the wrong terminal because you looked away. When you look back, you connected it to the wrong terminal. That makes the radio operate in a way which is not explainable by the schematic. You can't look at the schematic necessarily and look at the symptom and look at the schematic and figure out what's going on, because the radio is no longer matching the schematic. You make 2 of those kinds of mistakes and good luck. You will be driven crazy. Look, there's a whole bunch of adjustments here too. I didn't notice those right on the back. Oh, wait, those are the ones I didn't notice. Oop. No, there's a whole bunch on the side. You can't see right now. Whole bunch of trimmers here, whole bunch of trimmers there. The other thing I've learned, and not just from doing this work, but just in life in general, the longer you look, the more you see. I see something a little bit odd. Let's put this camera to work here. The longer you look, the more you see. How about a little more light on the topic too? Okay. So we're just going to scan along, starting up at this end of the radio. So that's the capacitor there. It's got to go. This is the power cord. Yikes! It's probably been replaced once. Oh no, I don't think so. Not when you look at this kind of arrangement here. This is probably original. awful lot of stuff on that one terminal down there. Look at how much stuff is on there. Yikes. Capacitors. Wow, this is, yeah, I said something about I like working on the old stuff. Pyramid. Is this a replacement? Hard to say. Look how dark and dirty. 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors everywhere here. A lot of work in this. The end of that capacitor is kind of popping off a little bit. The seal is gone down on the end there. Maybe not. Oh boy. It's not a very good looking deal here. It's pretty ugly. So that looks like a capacitor terminals here, and that's going up to that. I'm pretty sure it's going to the square box that I said was either the capacitor or maybe an output transformer. It looks like a capacitor to me. I don't, this is, we're looking at factory work here, and I would say this isn't, the greatest looking factory work by any means. And looking at the solder and the way the wires have been clamped down and the like, this, you got to think too, back when they were working in these factories, the lighting was very poor. The soldering irons were the size of golf clubs, and in some cases, soldering iron didn't have an internal heater, right? They put the soldering iron into a flame to heat it up. This is a weird looking thing. What is this? Is this just a simple capacitor here? Oh, it's just the way it looks to me. Yeah, it's just a capacitor. Okay, so now we're getting down into the RF area of the radio. These coils. So I'm looking for, egregious corrosion or obvious melting or burning or anything like that. I don't see anything of that sort. Because a lot of these old radios were attached to outside antennas, a bolt of lightning in the area could result in damage to the antenna coil. I think that might have been more common than we might realize. Don't think you need to have the antenna actually hit by a bolt of lightning. Well, that would do it. Very dark and dismal. Menko. Never heard of them. Well, the first step, I think, will be to change out this capacitor and the power cord, and we could fire it up from there. I have ways of restricting the amount of power that will go into something like this during when you're experimenting with it. So you certainly wouldn't plug it right into the wall. So if we look at this, this is where that cap is, that covering the hole. That just looks like a factory thing. And so if this guy, this is the rectifier tube, which doesn't look. It doesn't look original. It's not a Loctite. And these wires, they look like they've been messed with. Or is it my imagination? Well, my theory is this isn't the original rectifier. Made in, we'll never know. Made in somewhere. Why would he not just put the proper tube back in? The proper Lochtel tube. Why do the change the socket, change the tube? What would be the reason for that? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. Okay, I think that's the name of the game then. We're going to change this guy, get rid of it, put something in its place. These wires are all kind of knurled up here from being manipulated. This may have been replaced at one point. This looks like a single capacitor, because this looks like a ground wire coming from the outside terminal here, going to this bundle spot, and then the other one, it's just one terminal. It's just a one terminal capacitor here. That's not enough. There's got to be another filter capacitor, or we got to look at the schematic. I got to wash my hands. Look at let's look at the schematic next. See if I can find it. Okay, here's the schematic in its entirety here. It's pretty busy. It's a pretty busy diagram. One of the things they've done with this schematic is they've drawn the signal lines heavy, so you can follow the signal fairly easily through the radio. Fairly easily. Another thing they've done is they've provided all these detailed drawings here, which is very good. Now what we want to do is take a look at the power supply. Let's zoom in a bit here and we'll see how have they done the power supply, and is this really the correct schematic. Now my radio has written on it 848 1826, so I'm pretty sure this has got to be the correct schematic. Let me see right here, voltage change over switch, and there is a voltage change over switch in my radio. I don't think there's any question this is the correct. Now look at these two capacitors here that are connected right across the power line. So you plug this in and these capacitors are energized all the time. We would be wise to change these for sure. I'm sure we're going to end up, there's just probably a couple of wax capacitors. This is the changeover switching, power supply, transformer. They've written the resistances in here. Here's the center tapped high voltage winding here. Here's the tube. What tube is it? What tube is it? What? 7Y4. I'm pretty sure that says. Well, it's not a 7Y4 in this radio. It's something else. What else is it? Holy smokes, I just pulled it out and practically smashed it there. 6X5, I already looked at it. 6X5 is not a very common tube either. So why would they do this? I mean, it's a lot of work changing a socket out. Why not just put the right tube in? I mean, I think I've got a couple of these 7B6 tubes. 7B6 was it? 7Y4. But it is what it is. So we can assume that whoever made that change knew what they were doing, and they did it for some valid reason. What's this? My mouse battery going dead? Here's the record player. That's the needle in the cartridge there. I think they're trying to show phono cable and the actual motor. Right? Something's going on with my mouse here. I'm having trouble. Couple other things to note. Look at, there's the IF frequency, 455. There's all kinds of hey, what do these dots represent? What does that mean? They kind of put it right in the middle of the line. What is a dot here and a dot here? A dot here and a dot here? Hey, it's only up in this area. I don't know what they're doing there. Well, what are they doing? Where's the draftsman? Get him here. Explain yourself. What are these dots? Well, maybe there's a legend. Maybe because they here. Oscillator signal path. So that's what this is showing. Oscillator signal path. Of course, it depends which coil you've switched in. So it looks like the path is going everywhere in here. But it would depend upon which band you're switched on. Well, that's interesting. I've never seen that done before. You see, RF, IF, and audio signal path is what I was talking about earlier, that they've heavied up the lines to show you that. Let's just look at this and make sure we're not missing some interesting information. This is showing us how the draftsperson has drawn these different types of capacitors. A little T, that's a plus sign there, I guess. Trimmer, no, that's a T for trimmer. That's a plus sign for electrolytic. Showing us each of the coils, very carefully shown where the wires are coming off. Fantastic. Locating notch. Locating notch. Aerial, oscillator. There's the devil's switch here. These wafer switches, which I don't know how you feel about it, but they drive me nuts. 6-position wafer switch. The loudspeaker, let's just take a look at that, does not have a field winding. My mouse is acting up here. Right, so you just have output transformer, and then you got the voice coil here, nothing else going on. But notice there's a ground put on this. That can be important later if I'm trying to apply instruments to this. That's kind of strange. What? Oh, look at this. I didn't notice this before. B, C, D, B again, C again, E, E. What are those? Section, what are those? What are they trying to say with that? Is there some reference to it? Do you see a chart with A, B, C, D written on it? The number of the symbol designates the section in which the part is located. 100 series are in the power supply, 200 series in the audio circuits. Oh, that's interesting. Can't say I've seen that done before. 400 series in the RF and converter circuits. The suffix letter identifies the part as a component of the assembly which bears an identical number without a suffix number, and with perhaps a different prefix number. What? Okay, well, I'm going to worry about that right now. That didn't quite sink in. Band switch positions. Broadcast, shortwave, and then way off, the last one is a phono. Now I counted 6 positions, but there must be 1, 2, 3, 6 positions, right. 6 positions. Why did I think there would be? Because I looked at the number of bands. I thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 bands. 5 bands, 6 position switch because of the phono setting. So our concern here is I'm gonna replace this, and then there's a capacitor, a filter capacitor somewhere in here. There's a 20 microfarad there, a 10 there, and this one I can't read that. 46? That makes sense. 46. An interesting arrangement here. These 2 resistors are in parallel. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just put 1 resistor of the parallel value here? Some kind of power issue? Like heat dissipation, so they put 2 resistors in? And they're not, you think, well, if they were to do that, they would just, would you double the resistance that you want? They'd be the same value, but they're not. 2208. R1G O R1G. So that's G0, and this is G1. Is there a parts list? I don't think there's a parts list. Come on, mouse. Japers. It just keeps stalling repeatedly. Got it. No, there's no parts list. At least I don't have it. Okay, we've seen enough to start this guy up. That I did not identify, because it's a little bit tricky. Just exactly which, is supposed to be a 10, a 20. Look at this, says CR01. So this is like a double capacitor here, I think, like a one unit with two terminals, and this is a separate one over here. 46. So look at how the other ones look. Well, there's a 10 microfarad, so it's MF 4. Well, maybe it's 40. 10, 20, and 40. 40 is pretty big. These resistors might help. The capacitor I see has only one lead on it. It could only be one of these. That means the other two have to be in there somewhere. Oh, really? Okay. And up by the output tube, sometimes they sneak a big capacitor on the schematic up here. I don't think so, though. Potentially, no, I don't see one. This is it. Three big guys. We should find these. Okay, that's enough schematic. Right, we should find these. So clearly here's one. This to me looks like a replacement. It just doesn't look original. This bracket here is riveted onto the side. So you know what, it could easily be original. It's only one capacitor, so where's the other two? Well, then it would have to be this. This square box here. Square box on the top. Philco, I can't really read that. It's just the typical Philco part number. But I might be able to search that out. But I mean, this is, oh. Why am I not seeing that? So, okay, change the story. That's the capacitor, that's the output transformer, that's the power transformer. Gotta be the case. Right here. Yes, right there. Okay, I missed that tubular capacitor on the top earlier. Just didn't notice it. So, oh well, what's the value? Come on. Wow. The value is, oh, there it is. Kind of in here. Let's look at it with the other camera, see if we can read it. More light. Looks like it's 30. Oh, it's very difficult to aim this camera here. I don't see any values there. Let me grab a brush. this. No, I cannot. Well, there we are. 10. Does it say 10 twice? Looks like that's the name of the manufacturer, Philco. I see 10, 10. Is there another one up above that? Okay, I'm getting a much better angle here now. Well, I see 30, 25. I don't know what that's about. Made in the USA. 150 volts. No, 450. That's better. I was going to say 150 volts. That'd be bad. So now we see 20 and 10. And 10. 10, 10, and 20. Okay, so there's 3 of them on here. All at 450. Not playing a like there isn't like a bypass capacitor built into this. So 20, 10, 10. What's that 30 up there? I don't know what that is. So 3 capacitors there. Let's look underneath again. Let me just flip this over. Is there really 3? Let me see. I can clearly see 2 internal. Internal, is this internal? I think it is. I don't think it's a ground. So that would be 3. There they are. They look factory again. They just don't. That's the same ones I was looking at earlier. They just don't look great. And now there's a resistor there. That's a green, blue. Wow, that's a strange one. That's 50. What's blue? 8? Gray is 8. Gray. I don't know. 58, 59. K. Funny number. Okay. So 3 capacitors here. Then what's this thing over here? What is this doing? So this could be a bypass capacitor on the output tube. The output tube is this is the rectifier tube right here. This is the rectifier right there. So he's hooked up to the rectifier. This is where things get a little weird because this is a different radio from what the schematic shows. Why would that be? And we still can't see how big this is. So now I'm asking myself, how many capacitors do I have to change before I fire this guy up? I'll pop this thing out because it's going anyway. Ooh, that came out rather rough. And they're not going to say anything. It's a secret. They're keeping it a secret. Really? And not a thing written on this? You gotta be kidding me. Ooh. Well, there's nothing in here. Can't say I've ever pushed down on the top of one of these. There's nothing inside. There's no hint. Oh my gosh, so we have a capacitor. It appears to be original, because look at that clip. Jeepers, I don't know. Would somebody have put this clip in after the fact? Clip was holding something else before it was holding this. Is that why this got crushed? This thing got crushed here by the clip. Big space in the radio in this area, so for something big, So this yellow wire goes to a ground, and the red wire goes to a terminal. Oh, I don't know if I want to sort this out today. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop and tomorrow I'll go ahead and do some stuff, because I think I should stop and think about this a little bit. Not much, just a little bit of thought might be good. I should give some time for that to take place. And it's already, I think I've been doing this for an hour easily now. And that's enough for me today. Very good. Just do a capacitor counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there any buried way down in there? Doesn't look like it. Just 7 capacitors, 7 wax capacitors. That's not that bad. And then who knows what else. So that's it. So probably this metal clad capacitor is probably good enough to go, like to operate. This one is probably bad. I can replace this if I knew what size it was. It's hooked up to a tube that's not going to be on the schematic. So is this... Oh, what's it doing? We'll sort that out tomorrow. Put new power cord on it, plug it in, and blow it sky high. Thanks a lot for watching, and hope you tune in tomorrow. Just keep working away on this Philco. See ya.